What are your thoughts on semen retention? Is Nofap worth doing? If you take the view that releasing semen is a good thing for a guy to do physiologically, but not every day, how often do you recommend a guy should ejaculate based on his age range? That's a good question. There's a semen retention is pretty popular right now. You see that around quite a bit, and there's a lot of there's a lot of contention in the viewpoints on that. What's best? You know what? Because there's upsides and downsides to both. So let's talk about that for a second. The upside to semen retention is it builds up a lot of sexual energy. Okay, and that sexual energy you can use for a lot of things, not just sex. Now, sex, it's great to use it for sex because when you have all that energy, particularly when you're leading and reading, you're taking you where you want to go, you're polarizing the dynamic between your masculine and her feminine with all this sexual energy you've built up. It makes the whole sexual experience so much more powerful, so much more enjoyable. So I love using built up sexual energy for that purpose. So it's great for that, but it's also great to use for your mission and passion. You know, there was a study I saw where they looked at the top earning entrepreneurs and they looked at all the things they had in common. And one of the things they all had in common is they had a very high sex drive, very high libido. But it's not like they used that sex drive for sex all the time. They used that energy, that sexual energy, that life energy for their mission, for their passion. They channeled it there. So you can use it for that too. And the beautiful thing about that is you use it for your mission and passion, it creates even more energy because because you're passionate about it. You're doing more of it and you love it, right? There's that gratitude that comes in, which creates even more energy. So semen retention, I think, is really good for those purposes. Now, here's the flip side of that. What they've also shown is that guys who ejaculate more tend to have less prostate cancer. Okay, there's a correlation between those two. So some guys, particularly in the spiritual community, like Tantra, that type of stuff, like sexual spirituality, will retain semen for very long periods of time, months, sometimes even years. I don't, I can't find any studies on this, and I doubt there ever will be studies on this. But it's hard for me to believe that that's really good. It comes down to that use it or lose it principle. And if you're going that long without ejaculating, I just think that it would tend to create problems in terms of creating even more ejaculate, creating even more sexual energy. Because what happens too when you retain semen, when that sperm stays in there, it starts to break down. Your sperm all that sperm doesn't just live in there, it actually starts to die. Now more sperms being made, but if it never gets released, it never gets replenished. In those fluids in the prostate never get turned around, right? So I think that's part of the reason why guys who ejaculate more tend to have less prostate problems, because that part of your seminal fluid comes out of the prostate. And if that never gets churned, if it never gets turned around and replenished, it just sits there and stagnates. So I can't give you a definitive answer. All I can give you is my opinion. And my opinion is, I think the best thing is somewhere in between those two things. So I think it's best not to ejaculate every day. But me personally, I think you should ejaculate at least once a month. Now, I ejaculate once or twice a week. Okay, that works well for me. You can see what works well for you. And the older you get, I would say the less you ejaculate is probably better. Okay, because it takes longer to regenerate that seminal fluid in the sperm. But you'll have to, it's kind of personal to you. But once again, this is not science here I'm talking about. This is my opinion. And my opinion is somewhere in between. Somewhere in between. Okay. Like I said, I would ejaculate at least once a month, minimum. That's my opinion. And I ejaculate probably once or twice a week, because the cycle of rejuvenating your ejaculate on average takes around 72 hours. So every 3 days or so. Excuse me. Okay, next question.
To get exclusive training on the impact point matrix that you can't find anywhere else at any price, click the link below to join our free video series on IPM, giving you a deep understanding of the ecosystem behind your erections so you can truly start mastering your stage 4 rock hard erections and lasting power today. And for a limited time, when you sign up today, you will also get free access to the complete Impact Point Matrix Power Training, which is normally only available to our Inner Circle members. A $97 value for free that you can only get right here. So click the link below right now to get this invaluable training while it's still available for free, and start mastering your erections and lasting power right now. I'll see you on the other side.